This is the Septet, and
this is the TheForteBass.
Okay. Wait, what? Anyway, we're here to talk about
Metal Gear!
Metal Gear.
It's fun.
That's your opinion.
That's your opinion.
My opinion's going to be up your butt. I call my left foot my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear. So, if you've never played a Metal Gear game, you're lucky. And if you have, I weep for you. He doesn't, because...
It's awesome.
Again, like I said, his opinion.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. I've seen all the games. I haven't played them, but I have seen them. Anyway, if you can really call it spoilers, there's going to be spoilers in this video. Although you can't really say that, because even if you know what's going on, you have no idea what's going on in Metal Gear. This game is a confusing mishmash of porridge and hot potatoes that are stewed together in some sort of bizarre Freudian bath.
Yeah, that's about right.
This is why we don't hang out. So, as a famous character in Lewis Carroll once said, who was that? The Mad Hatter? I think it might have been. You have no. Start at the beginning, and when you get to the end, stop. Unfortunately, absolutely 0% of that sentence applies to Metal Gear, because no one knows where this series begins or when it ends. Because Metal Gear. So, I guess where we should start is with the main character in, like, maybe half of the games.
Yeah.
He's about the...
Yeah.
He's the main character in half of the Solid games. There's four Solid games. Metal Gear Solid.
Well, unless you count some of them for the PSP.
Is he in those?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the PSP games. I don't think they count. Like, 2 of them were card games.
Yeah, the acid games. They call it... I think
the children's trading card game.
Yeah, I think they call it acid because while they made it, they were on acid. Four people.
You need to have acid to play some of these games. It doesn't make it make any more sense, but it helps. So, we'll start with the chronologically first Metal Gear Solid game. Metal Gear Solid 1.
For PlayStation.
For PlayStation.
And PC.
Later, but not... Yeah. That happened later.
On the PlayStation Network, it's on the PSP as well, so...
Who cares about the PSP? Okay. So, Snake. Give him a lowdown. What's Snake's backstory? What's he doing?
Awesomeness.
That's not
okay. First, he was living in Alaska.
In Alaska.
And yeah, he was a dog musher. And then...
That's a technical term. Yeah. Keep going.
And Roy Campbell contacted him saying that terrorists had taken over a top secret or... So I haven't really played in a while, but from what I remember...
I haven't played in years either.
Yeah. He contacted him and told him that they needed his help, and he was like, no! I'm trying to live my life peacefully now. And
Gilligan cut, he's on the island.
Yeah. And we swim in through this... Through the sea, pretty much.
It's hardcore.
Yeah. And we come up in this, like, basement thing, and then we have to sneak past these guys after Colonel Campbell's all like, oh, you have to press this button to crouch. We're like, yeah, I know.
Okay, we don't need a walkthrough.
Oh, well. So, just the basic thing.
Unfortunately, that was the basic thing. It was also the walkthrough.
Okay.
So... if you had to describe Snake, describe just Snake.
Okay. He wears a bandana. And he,
Who is Snake as a character? What's his thing? What's his job?
He is a top secret government agent guy. He used to work for Foxhound.
He's a spy.
Yes.
He's a spy.
Super spy.
Okay. So Foxhound is an elite group of commandos.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And they send him to Alaska, which is where it is, the base. It's called Shadow Moses.
Shadow Moses Island.
Okay. And
it's like Sunlight Moses, except I didn't have any word for this joke to go. Keep going.
Okay. And they tell him that after he left Foxhound, that the rest of the units in Foxhound, they went
rogue?
Yeah, that's the word, rogue. They went rogue and took over the base and is now threatening to launch a nuke at the United States unless they give them
$1 million.
Something like that. And the remains of Big Boss.
It's the standard plot.
Yeah. So they send us in to stop it and rescue some hostages.
So, okay. So these guys, they're part of your old commando unit.
Yes.
Is it ever explained why exactly they went rogue? I might have missed that.
I think that the leader of them, Liquid Snake.
Right. Who is your evil clone?
Shh.
What? They don't. That's not a spoiler. That happens in like the first 5 minutes.
Shut up.
Okay. If you don't know that Liquid Snake is Solid Snake's evil clone, you've been asleep through this entire fucking series.
Okay, so they have us go and take them down.
Right.
And rescue the hostages, and one of them is Kenneth Baker, and the other one is the DARPA chief.
Kenneth Baker. Was that fat guy?
That was the guy with the cane when we fought Ocelot.
Yeah, the fat guy.
Yeah. With the C4.
That was the sound he made like through that entire fight. Like Ocelot's like he's like shut the fuck up.
It's fun if you shoot him.
You're distracting me.
Okay, and well they have us go in and take them down, and we're in the basement. Wait, that's walkthrough.
Okay, so we're fighting. We are Solid Snake.
Yes.
Okay, and we fight. Okay, who do we have on our side when we're in the base?
When we're in the base, like with us or on the radio.
Who's helping us out?
Mel Silverberg or something bug.
Meryl.
Mel.
Meryl is our love interest.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So, Meryl is Snake's obligatory love interest, and she is our boss, Colonel Campbell.
Yeah.
She's his niece or daughter. Was that ever resolved?
Yes, it was.
What was
it? She's his daughter because Voi's, Colonel Campbell's brother went to war and he died, and Voy was there to comfort his brother's sister, and then they got jiggy with it. And
so he slept with his brother's sister. Wait, his brother's sister?
Brother's wife.
Okay, that was
words of some kind.
I would have been confused, but it's Metal Gear, so it wouldn't have been that surprising if it was incest, really.
Okay.
That would be the least surprising part of this fucking game.
Well, incest did happen a little later.
No, just don't. We'll get to that.
Okay.
If we get to that. So, Colonel Campbell, Roy Campbell, he's our boss,
yes.
And his daughter, even though they're calling her a niece because she disowned him, he disowned her. Somebody fucking does.
She doesn't actually know yet.
Neither one of them like each other. They're kind of. You slept with my mom's ex-husband. I don't fuck it. So anyway, she's on the inside. Why was she on the inside? Was she already there?
Yeah, she was there. She went to help because Foxhound was originally placed there, and then they went rogue and took over.
She was part of Foxhound, or was she like a support unit?
She was like a brand new unit in Foxhound. She had just gotten in.
She was one of the non-superpower having. Everyone in Foxhound has superpowers, by the way, except for Solid Snake, unless you count his power as being awesome. Because if there's one thing that I've taken away from Metal Gear Solid is that Solid Snake is awesome and everyone else is annoying. Really annoying.
Okay. Okay, so she was in there and then she got captured and she wouldn't help the terrorists, so they locked her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go in and we meet the DARPA chief, who then suddenly dies mysteriously.
He's not the DARPA chief anyway. What?
Fine.
That's revealed in the first 10 minutes. Like, you go in and you get into that hangar thing full of the tanks, and then you crawl up into the ventilation ducts, and then you spy on Meryl naked in her cell, and she's like doing setups, whatever. She's half naked. It's close enough. She's like doing setups, and you're like, oh, Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And then he crawls over. It's like, Snake, stop looking at my granddaughter, niece, whatever she is. He's like, oh, Metal Gear. And then he like crawls along, and then there's the DARPA chief, and he's sitting there on the toilet like, oh yeah, oh, I'm taking it. And it's like, really? Metal Gear. And so Snake drops down, and he's like, DARPA chief, what's going on? Metal Gear. The DARPA chief's like, there's a motherfucking nuke in this motherfucking building. And I got this motherfucking card key that'll motherfucking set it off. Our DARPA chief is played by Samuel L. Jackson for some reason.
No, the card key will stop it. Fine,
right.
Set it off.
Whatever. Okay, so the DARPA chief knows the launch codes because he's the DARPA chief. But he hasn't broken, except he's not actually the DARPA chief. They killed the DARPA chief, torturing him for information, and they replaced him with a shapeshifter named Decoy Octopus.
He wears the skin, pretty much. Only not the actual skin.
He's like a super...
He like takes out his blood and puts their blood in him.
He puts his own blood in. Like, why would you do that if you're just trying to pass a visual inspection? That doesn't... What
magic?
Do they expect him to have like some kind of fucking DNA scanner, like shoved up his ass?
They know that he has the nanomachines in him to show up on the Sultan radar.
Well, la-dee-da. Okay, so anyway, it's Decoy Octopus in disguise, and he's trying to get you to tell him the launch codes. Or so he's trying to get... Was it the launch codes?
I think so.
They thought that Snake knew the launch codes. Why you would tell the launch codes to the commando that you're sending in to kill everyone, I don't fucking know. But he didn't, and because he had the DARPA chief's blood inside of him, the disease... they called it a disease in the first game, but they later retconned it into being nanomachines. Attacked his blood, the DARPA chief's blood, and killed him because
they gave him a heart attack, pretty much.
It looked like a heart attack. It was a heart. It simulated. It was a heart attack. Whatever.
Yeah.
So the reason that they sent Snake in there is because he had this nanovirus. They called it a genetic virus, but it was retcon. Nanomachines
die.
Is nanomachines apparently.
Yeah.
And so Snake didn't know that he was carrying this inside of him. He thought he was going in there to like shoot people, but he was actually going in there to breathe on them.
Okay, so he tells us all this, crap about nukes and DNA tests and...
It's a really, really long cutscene.
Yeah, it takes like, I think, the least amount, 30 minutes.
Seriously? Like, you're going to be like, oh man, these cutscenes are super long. It's like, no, Metal Gear 1, shortest. It's nothing. Okay? I can make a sandwich. Alright? For like Metal Gear 1, I can make a sandwich. Metal Gear 4, when we get to the end of this, I could go and make like a 7-course meal, like you the pig with the apple. It's like ridiculous. So these cutscenes never end. This game is like... Never mind.
So he tells us all this stuff, then he dies, and we're like, oh no, he died of a heart attack, what happened? Oh,
I don't know. Heart attack? That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
He must have had a bad heart.
Okay, so, and then we hear some thumping outside the cell, and then the door to the DARPA chief's cell opens, and we come out, and there's this soldier pointing a gun at us, and it sounds like a chick, and...
You got rookie eyes. They're transplants!
Yeah,
no.
Eats a gun. And...
I missed that part. It's like... Take the gun away from her. She's like, oh, you took my gun away! It's like, get the fuck out of here. And so she runs away, and then it like does this weird slow-mo zoom on her ass as she's running away.
It goes...
like... That's the weirdest thing. Like, you know it's Meryl. It's like really, you heard her talking earlier, and it's like so obviously Meryl. And you're like, why the fuck did they do a slow-mo zoom on her ass? Like,
later!
I know why they did a slow-mo zoom on her ass, but why? It's like, Colonel, they just did a slow-mo zoom on that chick's ass. What was up with that?
That's gonna be an important plot point later, Snake.
Okay, so I should look at people's asses?
Yes.
Oh, Harry Buckcrack, Metal Gear.
Okay, so, and she runs away, and Psycho Mantis appears after she shoots. She runs to the elevator and shoots us. Well,
Psycho Mantis, second most awesome character in this game.
He is.
Really.
He's like anorexic or something.
He's very thin.
Yeah.
He's a very thin, gaunt man.
Even with, the old graphics, because I haven't played the remake for it, Twin Snakes, yet, he's like, like super thin. His ribs, it's like this is his stomach and this is his ribs.
He's dressed like Bondage Pyro.
It's weird. And he has a gas mask.
Yeah, like I said, Bondage Pyro. He's got straps.
Oh yeah.
From
I realized that now. Okay.
He's from Africa, isn't he? Psycho Mantis, they found him in like a village. He was like a shaman or something. I remember that. You never see.
Yeah, I think so.
You don't actually ever see Psycho Mantis because he's wearing like this huge gimp suit and like the mask thing. Like you never actually see him because he's all covered in latex or leather or whatever.
Well, when he dies, you see his face, and it's really ugly in 8-bit. But yeah,
like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Except Darth Vader was an 8-bit.
Yeah.
Metal Gear.
Okay, so she shoots at us to stop us from getting on the elevator. The elevator closes, and Psycho Mantis just, like, appears there as an illusion and starts going,
I'm Psycho Mantis. Whoa. Am I high? No. You're just seeing things. I'm Psycho Mantis.
Okay. And
that was that scene. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like nothing important with that.
I'm going to be a boss later. Well, okay.
Okay.
Thanks for that.
Okay, so, and then it cuts to a scene of a flashback of...
Is it a flashback?
Yeah, it was a flashback.
This game has a lot of flashbacks.
Well,
like flashbacks that shouldn't be flashbacks. Flashbacks of things that we should have just seen because they happened 5 minutes before we see the flashback.
Yeah.
Like we missed it. We weren't in the room, but we should have just seen it beforehand.
They do that in other games.
Whatever.
Okay,
Whatever.
so we see a flashback of Liquid yelling at Ocelot because he tortured the DARPA chief to death.
Oh yeah.
And
that's kind of important. Because that's when you realize,
that wasn't the DARPA chief!
It wasn't the DARPA chief! The guy who was acting super suspicious
was suspicious!
I don't...
Okay. Okay, so then we have to go down to the basement and get some C4.
It's good times.
Yeah. And then we have to stop blowing up walls.
What did I tell you about being a walkthrough?
Well, it's important.
It's not important.
Well, fine. We blow up walls, and then we go fight Revolver Ocelot while we're trying to get back Kenneth Baker, who is tied up with C4.